If you're 60 years old with nothing saved for retirement, do these 10 things immediately to still retire with dignity and financial security. I know what you're thinking right now. You're looking at your bank account, maybe checking your retirement statements and feeling that knot in your stomach because the numbers just aren't there. You're 60 years old, retirement is staring you in the face, and you've got little to nothing put away. Maybe you spent years raising kids, helping family, dealing with medical bills, or just trying to keep your head above water. Whatever the reason, you're here now, and I want you to know something important. This isn't a lecture about what you should have done 20 years ago. This is about what you can do right now, today, to change your trajectory. Because here's the truth. It's not too late. It really isn't, but you need to act, and you need to act strategically. So let's talk about the 10 things you need to do immediately. First and foremost, you need to delay Social Security as long as humanly possible. I know that might sound counterintuitive when you're feeling behind, but hear me out. Every year you delay taking Social Security between 62 and 70, your benefit increases by about 8%. That's not 8% interest on an investment that might go up or down. That's a guaranteed 8% increase in income you'll receive for the rest of your life. If you can possibly work until 70, even part-time, you're looking at a benefit that could be 75 to 80% higher than if you took it at 62. Think about what that means. If your benefit at 62 would be $1,500 a month, waiting until 70 could mean $2,700 a month. That's an extra $14,000 every single year for the rest of your life, and unlike your savings, you can never outlive Social Security. It's there until you die. So if you can work in any capacity, if you can live on less for a few more years, delay that benefit. It's the single most powerful move you can make. The second thing you absolutely must do is downsize your housing situation right now. I'm not talking about someday or when the market's better. I mean, put that plan into motion this month. Your home is likely your biggest expense and potentially your biggest asset. If you own a home, you need to seriously consider selling it and moving to something smaller, something cheaper, or somewhere with a lower cost of living. Let's say you've got a 3-bedroom house worth $300,000 with a mortgage payment of $1,800 a month plus property taxes and maintenance. You could sell that home, move to a smaller condo or apartment that costs $800 a month, and potentially walk away with $150,000 or more after paying off your mortgage. That $150,000 could be invested conservatively to generate another $5,000 to $6,000 a year in income. Plus, you're saving $12,000 a year on housing costs alone. That's $18,000 a year that just appeared in your retirement budget. And here's what nobody tells you. A smaller place means less to clean, less to maintain, lower utility bills, and often a simpler, less stressful lifestyle. You don't need 3 bedrooms anymore. You need financial security. Third, you need to work longer than you planned. But here's the key. Work smarter, not just harder. You might not be able to keep doing your current job until 70, and that's okay, but you need to stay in the workforce in some capacity. This doesn't mean killing yourself with manual labor or stress. It means finding work that your body and mind can sustain. Maybe you transition to part-time consulting in your field. Maybe you take a less demanding job that still provides income. Maybe you turn a hobby into a side business. The goal isn't to match your current salary. The goal is to generate enough income to cover your basic living expenses while your Social Security benefit grows and you give any savings you do have more time to compound. Let me give you an example. If you can make even $2,000 a month from age 60 to 70 through some combination of work, that's $240,000 in income that you didn't have to pull from savings or Social Security. That's huge. And more importantly, it keeps you engaged, active, and purposeful during a decade when many people start declining mentally and physically. The fourth critical step is to become absolutely ruthless about cutting expenses. And I don't mean clip a few coupons. I mean go through your life with a fine-tooth comb and eliminate everything that isn't essential. Do you really need cable TV when there are cheaper streaming options? Can you switch to a cheaper cell phone plan? Are you paying for subscriptions you don't use? Could you shop at different grocery stores or buy generic brands? I know a couple who went through this exercise and found they were spending $400 a month on things they didn't really need or value. Gym memberships they rarely used, subscription boxes, eating out from convenience rather than enjoyment. When they cut that spending, it was like giving themselves a $4,800 annual raise. Every dollar you don't spend is a dollar you don't need to earn or withdraw from savings. Get aggressive about this. Your future self will thank you. Fifth, you need to maximize your catch-up contributions to retirement accounts immediately. If you're 50 or older, you can contribute an extra $7,500 to your 401k and an extra $1,000 to your IRA beyond the normal limits. I know what you're thinking. How can I contribute more when I'm already behind? But here's the thing. If your employer offers any match at all, you're leaving free money on the table by not contributing. And the tax benefits mean the government is essentially subsidizing your retirement savings. If you're in the 22% tax bracket and you contribute $10,000 to your 401k, you're only actually out of pocket $7,800 because of the tax deduction. And that $10,000 could grow for the next 5 to 10 years before you touch it. Even if you can only do this for a few years, it makes a difference. Run the numbers with your specific situation, but don't dismiss this just because you feel behind. Sixth, consider a healthcare strategy that includes working until 65. Healthcare costs are one of the biggest wildcards in early retirement and one of the biggest drains on savings for people who retire before Medicare kicks in. If you retire at 62, you're looking at 3 years of private health insurance that could easily cost you $1,200 to $1,800 a month or more, depending on your health and where you live. That's $20,000 to $30,000 a year just for health insurance before you even pay any medical bills by working until at least 65, even if it's part-time work that provides health benefits or just lets you afford to pay for private insurance with earned income rather than savings. You're protecting your nest egg from one of the biggest early drains on it. This alone could save you $60,000 to $90,000. The seventh thing you must do is learn to generate income from skills or assets you already have. You've lived 60 years. You have skills, knowledge, and experience that have value. Can you tutor students in a subject you know well? Can you offer bookkeeping services to small businesses? Can you do handyman work, pet sitting, or house sitting? Can you drive for a rideshare service a few hours a week? Can you rent out a room in your home on Airbnb if you're not ready to downsize yet? I know someone who started teaching piano lessons at 63 and generates an extra $600 a month. Another person rents out their parking space in a downtown area for $200 a month. These aren't going to make you rich, but they're revenue streams that require minimal startup costs because they leverage what you already have. Stack 2 or 3 of these together and you could have an extra $1,000 to $1,500 a month. That takes pressure off your retirement savings. Eighth, you need to get serious about building a bare bones emergency fund even at this stage. I know it seems backwards to save when you're already behind on retirement, but here's why it matters. If you don't have any cash cushion and you hit retirement, the first unexpected expense like a car repair or medical bill forces you to take an unplanned withdrawal from retirement accounts or go into debt. That withdrawal gets taxed, potentially pushes you into a higher tax bracket, and permanently reduces the money you have working for you. Even having $3,000 to $5,000 set aside can prevent you from derailing your retirement plan the moment something breaks. Build this small buffer first, even if it means contributing less to retirement for 6 months. Think of it as insurance for your retirement plan. The ninth crucial step is to plan on relocating to a lower cost of living area in retirement. And I don't just mean a cheaper house in the same town. I mean potentially moving to a different city, different state, or even different country where your dollars stretch further. There are places in the United States where you can live comfortably on $1,500 to $2,000 a month total. There are countries where your Social Security benefit alone could provide a middle-class lifestyle. I'm not saying you have to move to rural Arkansas or to Mexico, but you need to expand what you're willing to consider. The difference between retiring in San Francisco, where you need $6,000 a month to survive, and retiring in Knoxville, Tennessee, where you might need $2,500 a month, is the difference between possible and impossible for someone with limited savings. Start researching now. Visit places. Figure out where you could actually see yourself living, because geographic arbitrage might be the difference between a stressful retirement and a comfortable one. And 10th, you need to plan for a phased retirement rather than an abrupt stop. The old model of working full-time one day and fully retired the next doesn't work well for most people, and it especially doesn't work when you're behind on savings. Plan to gradually reduce your hours over several years. Maybe you go from full-time to 30 hours a week at 62, then to 20 hours at 65, then to fully retired at 68 or 70. This approach has multiple benefits. It eases the psychological transition. It keeps you engaged and active. It generates income that bridges the gap until your Social Security is maximized, and it gives your savings more time to grow. Plus, many employers are more willing to be flexible with valued employees who want to scale back rather than quit entirely. Have that conversation with your employer. You might be surprised at their willingness to work with you. So here's where you are right now. You're 60 with little to nothing saved, and that's scary. I'm not going to pretend it's not. But if you implement these 10 strategies, if you delay Social Security, downsize your housing, keep working strategically, slash your expenses, maximize your contributions, work until 65 for healthcare, generate additional income streams, build an emergency fund, consider relocating, and plan a phased retirement, you can still have a dignified retirement. You won't be taking luxury cruises every year, but you won't be eating cat food either. You can have stability, security, and peace of mind. The key is acting now, not next month, not next year, now. Every month you wait is a month of Social Security growth you give up, a month of potential earnings you miss, a month your current spending drains resources you need for the future. You've got this. You're 60, not 90. You likely have 25 or 30 years ahead of you. Make these next 10 years count. If you found this helpful, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with anyone you know who's facing the same situation. Leave a comment and let me know which of these 10 strategies you're going to implement first. You're not alone in this, and you're not out of options. Let's secure your future together.